Hi there, this is Chris. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a couple of things. That is, on my left here I have the Lantern from SmallRig, and on the right I have the 85 centimeters softbox from SmallRig. These are two important light modifiers that you might be wondering which one is best, which one should you use, should you buy for your own setup. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about these two modifiers. First I'm going to tell you all the specs, how they are, and then I'm going to tell you how they work and show you a couple examples, and then finally I'll tell you what I think you should use based on your setup, and that might answer a couple of questions that you might have. So don't move, we're going to tackle that right after the intro. Let's start with the softbox. This is an 85 centimeters diameter softbox by 57 centimeters of depth. It uses a standard bow and mount, which is great. Right now I'm using it with the 120D by SmallRig, but you can use it with any other brand that has a bow and mount. It comes with what they call a diffusion cloth, which is basically a diffusion layer. So you have the main diffusion layer right here, and inside there is another layer which allows you to diffuse the light even more. So you can have some very soft lights that comes out of this softbox, and it will be more pleasing on your skin. There is also a honeycomb grid that is included in the package. For those that wonder, it is this guy right here that you can put on. I'm going to show you what happens when you put it on. There you go. So the purpose of this grid is to control the light even more. So as you can see here, there is little holes or little squares. What they're going to do is they're going to shoot the light straight to the front, and that's going to avoid having spills of light. That can be very useful when you're shooting a specific scene and you want the light to go straight somewhere and you don't want to have spills all over the place. This softbox has what SmallRig calls a quick release speed ring. This is basically one of the best setups and way of unmounting and closing or opening this softbox that I've seen or that I've used so far. The reason is that they used a clip that basically allows you to open it like an umbrella. You clip it in place very easily, but the thing is, when you want to close it down, you just have to pull down those little the clips, or however you want to call them, made of metal, and the thing just collapses very easily. And that is something that can be very useful for us filmmakers or photographers when you're out there and you need to do a shoot and you need to take your gear with you, and you don't want to have to mess around with what we used to have back in the day, which was those you had those rods that you had to put in one by one. It was excruciatingly painful, and now this was very much simplified in an umbrella type of quick setup. There's a dust and waterproof outer fabric on this softbox that is very useful. I personally don't really care if the outside of my softbox is waterproof, because I don't normally use these guys outdoor. But if you're someone who likes to shoot outdoor, you might be pleased to know that water is not going to damage your softbox, at least not right away. There is an anti-reflective coating on the inside. The purpose is to avoid absorption of the light as much as possible, and to keep and maintain the CRI of the light as well as the color temperature. So if you're using, for example, the 120B from SmallRig, which I have right here, and you want to have it tungsten, let's say 2700 Kelvin as the light temperature, you will keep that color temperature as much as possible with the inside that was coated on purpose for that reason. They give you a carrying bag that I personally like a lot. I'm going to show it to you right here. So this carrying bag here is keeping the same design as for the lights. So they have this uniform grayish with the logo on it right here, and the little tabs that show SmallRig in red. Now this is very useful because it opens from the top. It has the zipper on the top, two zippers, and all you have to do is really, you fold it down, put it in, and you close it from the top like so. Why do I like it so much? Because I've been using a lot of softboxes from other brands as well. I'm not going to mention which brands necessarily in this video, but the thing is, a lot of them used to at least have a zipper that goes, that runs along the whole bag. When you put your softbox inside, it puts too much stress on the zipper, and when you close it many times over months and the years, it starts breaking up. Even the best brands, I had problems and issues with the zipper breaking up. Now, this guy, I don't think it's gonna break that easily because it's on top here and there's very little stress applied on the top zipper when you put it in. So yeah, I think SmallRig thought this through very well. Price-wise, we're at $149 on the SmallRig website. That can vary because they tend to do a lot of discounts if you buy in bulk, or there are discounts all the time on the website, but the original price is $149. Let's now tackle the lantern, because you might be curious to know how a lantern works, and specifically this SmallRig 65 centimeters of diameter lantern. It is, like I said, 65 centimeters in diameter and it has 55 centimeters in length. The depth is very similar to the SOFTBOX. I think it has 2 centimeters of difference, so not a big difference between the two. It also has a Bowen mount. This is pretty much the standard for light modifiers, so I'm glad to see that they use that. I also have some Godox lights, but they have their own mounts, which is great when you're using the ecosystem of Godox, but as soon as you want to change and use other lights, you can't. So this is actually very good. Another thing that is included in the package when you buy this lantern is the barn doors, which I personally tend to call a skirt, but yeah, technically it's a barn door. Now, the barn doors, you might be familiar with it, looks like this normally, where you can open and you can direct the light wherever you want. You can decide to open a side, close it, and really change, model, and shape the light as you want. Now, the way it looks for a lantern is like so. So you have this here, which is highly reflective on the inside. And the way it works is simply you put this around your lantern and it's going to really look like a skirt, like barn doors. And what is cool is that you have 4 ways of putting it, and you can roll up the sides so that you only you can only light up a part of the scene. For example, you can close this part and open the other 3, or open 2 and close 2, or whatever, so that you can really direct the light as you want. That can be great when you want to, for example, use it as a shower light, for example, for the YouTube setup, but I'll tell you more about that a little bit later in this video. Again, the setup for this modifier is beyond easy. You got a few hooks inside that you just press down, you hook them on the bar, and your thing is good and ready to go. So it's really an easy one-step operation that takes literally, I think, 15 to 20 seconds max. So it is very easy to mount and unmount. Time will tell us how good it is on the long run, the quality and so on, but it looks pretty sturdy as far as I've seen. In terms of carrying bag, once again, they give you this grayish bag, which looks very good, but most specifically, it has the zipper on top, so it allows you to really carry your stuff, your gear around without the worry that it's going to break. I'm sorry I keep mentioning this, but in real life, that has been an issue for me, where zippers have been breaking and I go around with the thing that is open, half open. I still can use it. I have a car, that's how I go to my gigs. But you know, having something that closes down looks more professional, and also you feel a bit more satisfied with the quality of the products you buy. Last but not least, the price. This version is $99 on the SmallRig website, but it can be a bit more expensive if you take the bigger version. So this is the smaller and there's a bigger one. Alright, so now let's take a look at what these 2 light modifiers do. So I'm going to turn off my main key light for this video, which is right there. There you go. So now we're left with only the SOFTBOX right here and the lantern on my left side. Okay, good. So let's turn off the SOFTBOX to start with, and this is what you're left with. So in terms of lighting, you can see when I move around, I still look at this side of my face, and you can still see how well I'm being lit up. No matter where I go, no matter how I move around, you can still see this part being lit up. And that's because the lantern will light up the scene 180 degrees basically. So from the back here, you can you can still see me, and if I move around, you still see me all around. So what is this good for? Well, this is good for example, an interview. When you want to have a room that is lit up uniformly, what you can do is you can put this on a C-stand, which I'm using over there right now, but you can put it up, you can put it so it hangs from the ceiling type of thing, and it looks like almost like a light bulb or a fixed light that you would have in a room. The cool thing is that you can control, for example, in this case, I'm using the 120B from SmallRig, so I can control the color temperature. So I could go all the way down to 2700 and have a light that it's a bit more moody and feels a bit more homey type of thing. So let me just go back now to 5600 Kelvin. There you go, daylight. So that gives you a little idea as to how this light would look. Now, if you put the barn doors around, you will direct the light on one specific spot, like when it comes down like this, and that can be very useful for a scene, for example, a restaurant scene or a train scene or a library, or anyway, any scene where you want to have a spot of light coming down. All right, so now let's turn on the softbox. So now the softbox, this is what it does. It does something similar, wherein I have the light coming onto me, but now look what happens. If I move around, you don't see me anymore. I mean, you cannot do it because of the LEDs. You get my point. You see? And this really gives you a spotlight to direct the light where you want it to go specifically, because it is a parabolic type of softbox. So it bounces all around to come straight like this. Now, if I would use the grid like I did before, the light would be even more focused on me. I would lose around one stop of light because of the grid, the honeycomb, but the light would go exactly where I want it to go. So this is kind of the difference between these two, is that this is more of a wide type of light, and this one is something you can also use in this direction, so horizontally, not just vertically, like this one would be used with the barn doors. You would have to put it up from the top. This one can be used like so. So it really depends what type of lighting you're going after and what is it that you're trying to achieve in terms of looks. The back of the room here, like right now you can see that the wall is white, but if I would put a grid on it, you could avoid having that light spill, and that would allow you to control the light better and to see that blue LED that I put there, for example, or have anything else going on in the background and really create a moody type of feel. Now, let's say you want to make a YouTube video, just to stay in the same subject. What you could do is you could have this, a wall behind you. Let's say you're doing it and you're this close to the wall. What you can do is you can use this lantern here. You can have maybe two of them on each side at 45 degrees, and the whole room would look perfectly lit up. Also, if you're, for example, in an office space and you have nice wide big windows behind you that show you the cityscape, for example, let's just say you're in New York. Okay, that's a bit stretching it, but you could do that. You could really have uneven lighting throughout the room. There, so I hope this answers your questions regarding the lantern from SmallRig or the softbox 85 centimeters from SmallRig. I'm using two 120D and a 120B lights to show you this these examples. If you have any other question, write it down in the comment section below. I'll answer it gladly. And otherwise, I see you like always in my next video. Take care. Cheers.